Sophomores, welcome to week 19 of Multimedia Design. We're very close to the end of the unit, so at this point there's really no more new skills to teach you. You're just working on your own website for the next 3 weeks. So here is what your task is to complete by Sunday. So you will be turning in a zip file that would have your own splash page. So that page that you have when you enter a website, you will be making your own. And then your own CSS, so your own design, but with Kim's content. So by this, I mean that you can keep all of the HTML, right? So you can use the code that we did at cohort or the code from the week before, and you can keep all of that HTML because we want to keep that text as a placeholder, but you would be making your own CSS. So you'll be coding your own colors, your own buttons, your own fonts, your own pictures. So this should really kind of resemble what you want your own website to look like, since later on you'll be able to keep this design and then just switch out the text. So this is a time for you to really focus on the CSS, right? You would also notice that on this week's module, you'll see that there is a slicing activity prompt. Unfortunately, when I saw you at cohort, we didn't get a chance to get to this, but this is something that you saw. So by this, I just mean that when you design your website in Illustrator or Photoshop, you already made what you wanted your footer, your banner, your buttons to look like, and some of those images. So with slicing, all you would do is just cut it. So you would take those pieces and then replace them. So let's say that you really like the footer that you made in that design. You would just slice that section, turn it into a picture, and then that picture you would code into your HTML. All of the information on how to do this is on that activity prompt. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and I'll be happy to help you with that. So at this point, you should really have a very good base about HTML and CSS, right? So HTML is about just kind of creating that content, and CSS is about designing the look of your website. Even though I do think that you have a good base, in case that you need help, there's things like Khan Academy, W3 Schools. I'll be happy to help you as well. But I would start with those two resources first, since they have a lot of information. This is also just a review, so you need an interview for your website. So once you record this interview, you should take that interview into Audition and then master it. And then once you master it, you should upload it to SoundCloud and then embed that link from SoundCloud into your website. So that needs to be into your interview page. These are just the requirements of your website. I want to make you aware of them again. So you have your splash page, which you are designing this week. So you will have that checked off already. So your splash page is, again, just that page that you look at right when you go into a website. You have your About Me page, which is going to be all about you and your information. And then you're going to have the Leader in My Community. So that's going to talk about the person that you interview, the person that your website's about, who you admire, why, what they do. Then you should have an interview page. In that interview page, you should have a short transcript of your interview. So you should have the questions and what they responded, as well with the whole interview at the bottom that's embedded from SoundCloud. And then your last page will be your looking forward. And you have 3 categories for that. You have your study skills, your leadership skills, and your tech skills. And you're kind of want to think about things that you want to learn and get better at within each of those areas. So let's look at Canvas and what you're going to be doing this week. So you have your week 19 video that you're looking at right now. You have the presentation, and then you have your slicing activity prompt, and then you have your submission for your website. So it's your designed, but with Kim's content. And again, it's a splash page that you created for your website. So this is the one that you're going to be using for your own website. It should be your own design, and it should contain Kim's content. Make sure that the folder and file structure is correct so we can run the site. If I can't see the site, I really can't grade it and I can't give you feedback, right? So we spent a whole week talking about debugging and making sure that our errors are corrected. So at this point, I would expect that your eye is trained for this, so your website should run before you turn it in. Otherwise, I really can't give you feedback or a grade for it. Once you complete that, you have your splash page, your own design, you'll be done for the week. Are there any questions at this time? Yes.
Yeah, so I know that I have to design my webpage and add a splash page. Should I be working toward getting the SoundCloud interview up this week and everything?
Yeah, so at this point, your SoundCloud interview should be up, potentially, if not before the next release, just because you will need to have a full functioning website by the next release. Yes.
If I need help with designing, is it okay to ask some of my classmates, or should I only be asking my instructor?
I think it's a great idea to ask your peers. I think sometimes they have some other ideas that will be helpful, as well as asking myself. So either one will be perfectly okay. If there's no more questions at this time, that's it for this week, and see you next week.